Hello and welcome to the weekly analysis. We will be going over the pairs that each has submitted in the Discord based on weekly order blocks. So let's get started. The first pair on the list is AUD USD. And if, as always, you want to go to the higher time frame to understand where you are in market structure. Excuse me. Let's go to the monthly so I can definitely see. Okay. Based on AUD USD, you can see that based on market structure, you have this push up, this push down, this push up, this push down, this push up, and this push down. So here is your higher time frame structure. Price did not break above that structure, okay? And then started breaking internal structure to the downside. So right now, this is where we are with structure. So I'm going to remove this. Based on let's go to the weekly. Price has broken this swing low. Okay. Price has broken that swing low. So that's our break of structure. All right. And if we are looking at also the higher time frame, there was a demand zone here. Just going to bring this over here. So what I'm going to go down in time frame and look for is, let's go to the daily. I'm going to look for structure. So based on the daily, you have this break of structure here, right? Which makes this your swing high. And this currently your swing low. Okay. Oops. And this currently your swing low. Okay. So right now, this is structure. This is your structure. All right. So let's go down to this is our daily structure. So let's go down to the 4-hour and see if we can see some internal structure. All right. Based on the 4-hour, the internal structure is here. You have this break of structure. This break of structure here, internal, which means this is now your 4-hour and or 1 hour. I would do it on the 1 hour as well. Swing high. And of course, this is the swing low. This is always going to be the swing low. So nothing changed with that. So price would need to break above this internal swing high in order for you to buy it up to this high. So if price broke above here, pulled back, I can't show you what the pullback would look like until it happens. But pulls back. So up from here to here, we're talking 95 pips. And that's just from this zone. Now, if price gives you another level of structure, meaning price pulls up to here, because this is the swing, right? So price can pull up to this zone here and give another level of structure, meaning there was a break of structure, and this is now the current swing high. So if that happens, then you're waiting for a swing high to get violated. So this is the current one right now. If price pulls back to then sell down some more, I mean, because it is bearish, right? So currently, this is the demand supply zone for this area. So price could come up here to the supply zone and then sell down some more. This is the sell zone or supply zone for this internal swing. Higher time frame, it is still a part of this swing. So once this pulls back, and if this pulls back and breaks structure again, like this whole swing is still current. This whole swing is still current, okay? So with that being said, price could push into here and sell and give us another break of structure, or price can break this internal structure, pull back to a demand zone, and then you can take it up to this high. Or if you want to take it to this imbalance, you can do that too. Because remember, overall, this is the swing. So price could pull back to depending on how far this goes, to the 78 and can continue selling. Price can pull back to the 78, which is a supply zone for me. Okay. There's an imbalance here. That would be a zone that Todd would trade based off of ICT, because you had the break of structure, right? So this imbalance would be a zone that Todd would trade based off of, and let me just put it there. Okay, that Todd would trade based on market structure, price could push into this imbalance and or supply zone and then sell some more. Okay. However, once price breaks this high, if price breaks this high, then you'll look for the pullback to buy it up to, let's go to the daily. The first price is going to tap is this zone here, which is, if you look at it on the daily, is a supply zone or an order block. Okay. It's a supply zone or an order block that price can come into to either to sell back down and then give you a push up, or pull back to a demand zone for the buy, or it could buy up to there and then keep selling. You just never know what price is going to do. So with that being said, but this is currently and you won't always get it right. It won't always be perfect, but this is our current structure. So if price breaks that structure and comes into this supply zone, you probably will get your pullback to a demand zone for a continuation of a buy to let's see what the overall structure was again. It was overall. So I would say it would be to these highs. once you start, well, I'm sorry. Let me take that back. Let me take that back. That was real. So I would say to this high here. Okay. Now, if we're talking market structure, the higher time frame market structure, this is the last swing right here. This right here was the last swing. Price came and swept above that high and then sold. Okay. Now price has sold below here. So I'm definitely, or closed below here. I said sold. Price has closed below this low, right? So we are likely going to start getting some kind of pullback. And you have to understand higher time frame structure with as well as the internal structure here. Okay. Prices swept this low or closed below this low. So I would go out on a limb to, because price has closed below the low, you always want to kind of assume that price may continue selling, right? Because price closed below the low, below this swing. So once we get this close, or what we've gotten this close, but we went down to a 4-hour, we identified our internal structure. So I would be looking for price to either break above here or price to pull up to this supply zone and then continue selling. All right. So with that being said, if AUD USD is a pair that you trade, I am asking that you, if you're part of, I'm asking that you post it in the respective channel in the chat and set an alert at this supply zone. And once the alert is set, because I'm not going to follow it, I only trade GJ and US 30. So, and gold. But once your alert is set off, if you can bring it to the attention of the group, then we can all look at it together. Okay. So here, this is a sweep. You're looking for a move up, a break internal. And let me just go down to the 1-hour. So I don't consider this a break above here. I don't consider that structure. And the reason why I do not consider that structure, because for me, I need a break of structure, and then this would be my swing high. If price closes below here, and then that would make this my swing high. But if price does not close below this zone, then this is just a high. And I would think that price coming here would be the move to then take this out. But if a candle closes below here, then, and of course, everything from this all the way to this high would be to the swing would be your swing high. That is market structure. Okay. So we won't know what's going to happen until this happens. So next on the list is, so if you have any questions for AUD USD, please feel free to ask. Next on the list is Euro GBP. We went over this on the weekly call. Let's look at it from a market structure standpoint and identify where we are in structure. So based on structure, this is the higher time frame structure. It is as crazy as all of this looks. This is a bullish structure, right? Okay. So, but for a long time, this has been bearish. The fact that I like that this is bearish. Well, first let's identify. So this was bullish, it pulled back. And let's see where it pulled back to. Oops. If you don't understand the higher time frame, you will never understand the smaller time frames, okay? So it pulled back to the almost to 88, 78, between 78 and the 88, and then broke structure. There was internal structure first, but the overall structure, this was the breaker structure. So this is your swing high. This was your swing high. Okay. So now that price has broken that structure, it pulled back. As you can see, it is creating a very strong support level of support. And price has broken below that support and gave a book weekly, or we still have 20 days in a month. So I can't say that this is a monthly order block, but it's in a bearish order block. Okay. So that bearish order block, this could just be mitigating the bearish order block. So I would not say that it's bullish at the moment because it's within a bearish order block. So price could come up here. Price can come up here to this zone here and then start selling. Now, with that being said, there is a demand zone here. And I don't think it's going to come all the way back there at this moment. But there's a demand zone here. Okay. Let's go to the weekly. So based on the weekly, it's still within a bearish order block. Although it broke above these highs, there is still and I'm going to remove this support zone. There is this order block right here that price would need to break above in order, or violate this bearish order block to even be considered a change of character for a pullback and then a continuation of a buy. Okay. So with that said, although we have a impulse bullish candle, it means nothing if it's still within this bearish weekly order block. Again, this could just be a push up to then come and sell down. All right. So now I'm looking at the daily. So currently price tapped into this daily order block. And I'm going to mark up the order block, but we know that this is still the high that needs to get broken. So now if we go to the 4-hour, and all you want to do is just start looking for structure as you go down in time frame. So currently, this is your structure. This was a little pullback here. Price pulled back into, if you trade the imbalance, price pulled back into this imbalance, started breaking internal structure. Once it started breaking internal structure, it pulled back to a it pulled back to a demand zone and is now going bullish. Okay, so price is likely coming to either take out this high or continue buying up to break structure here, pull back, and then possibly take out the highs there. So that is what I so far see for Euro GBP. If price does not, if price comes and just sweeps this high and then starts breaking internal structure, then you'll be looking for the sell from this zone. And based on what we talked about, the sell could take out these lows. Or pull back to, because there's a demand zone here. And then there's also a demand zone here. Okay. But if it doesn't take out this high and it starts changing character, then it is 9 times out of 10 coming to take out or to continue selling for the break of structure that we talked about earlier. All right. Next, we have JER 30. JER 30 on the weekly is, always want to look at structure, overall structure. So you have a break of structure here. Which made this your swing low. Okay, so you had a break of structure here, which made this your swing low. Then you have this break of structure here. Oops. Which made this your swing low. And then you have this break of structure here, which makes this your swing low. And then you have this break of structure here, which makes this your swing low. Okay, so for JER 30, because you had this break of structure, and I'll say it as I always do, buy until you can't buy anymore. I would be looking for price to pull back into this zone and then looking for a change of character on a smaller time frame to then continue buying up to these highs. Okay. Now, based on the 4-hour, price is tapped into an imbalance, but we have a bearish order block. It tapped into the imbalance, pulled back to the order block. Pulled back to the order block and rejected it. So price could come back into this zone and start selling. And if you, the way I trade is this was the first sign right here. This was the first market structure shift. So this was a break of structure because it closed above, right? And then you had this immediate market structure shift. So for me, I would be looking for, once price pulled back, I would be looking for price to pull back into my, and let me take this off and look for price to pull back into my supply zone. This was the last up candle before this down move, okay? Before the market structure shift. So I would be looking for price to come back into this supply zone, all right? Which it did. So now, based on structure, and for me, this is the last bit of structure that I currently see. That was a break of structure. This was the swing low. All right. Break of structure. Nothing has closed above this high right here. So this is my current swing. This is my current structure. Now, price came into the zone. For me, I need to see price break a level of structure before pulling back into a supply zone for the sell. Now, Todd would say this daily wick past this high, and it's going to start selling. And I'm sure that's probably how it's going to happen. But for me, confirmation, I need confirmation. So I need price to close below this low, give me a pullback to my supply zone, and then I would look for sales to take out this low. Okay. So with that being said, I need confirmation. I would need to see this violated or broken before I wait for a pullback to then sell. Order blocks. So because currently we're bullish, right? A bearish order block means nothing to me until price makes a market structure shift. A bearish order block to me is just a pullback for a continuation. Okay, so if I were trading JUR 30, I would be waiting for price. Price is already pulled back to the order block. So this wouldn't be a good pair to currently look at, but unless price is going to pull back up here and then give you a change of character or something. I don't know. But if I was gonna sell this, I am waiting for this break of structure or market structure shift. And then I can get it, and then I can assess the situation and get in. Because if price breaks this shift, that means we're now creating lower highs and then lower lows. Okay. So currently, June 30 is, if you're trading like Todd, it's going to be selling. It's going to be selling. And then once it's here, and I already see it's probably going to break below here. But just know that once it breaks, it's going to pull back for the sell. All right. NZD CAD. NZD CAD based on the weekly, excuse me, based on the weekly. So you gotta close. So you got a close below the weekly low, previous week's low. And let's look at overall time frame. And then let's also look at where our supply and demand zones are. All right, so based on the weekly, this is not a very cute pair to trade, but I would say price is likely coming to take out this low. Okay. Once this low is taken out, then you may get a, okay, hold on. Because we're bearish, let's talk about the bears. So price could pull back up into this here and then push back down. Okay. So let's go to the daily. Okay. So based on structure, market structure, this is our last structure, right? Which would make this my supply zone. Okay. So price could pull back into this zone and continue selling. Or price can break above these highs, pull back to a demand zone, and then continue buying. Okay. But based on structure, price can pull back here and then selling down to take out this low. All right, so let's go down to the 4-hour. And let's narrow down. This is how I do it. I narrow down my supply zone. And then let's go to the 1-hour and narrow down my supply zone. And based on structure, this is still the last swing right here. So this is your structure here. So price can come anywhere, either here or here, and then turn around and sell based on market structure. Okay. And if you're not sure, you fib your structure. This is 50%, 618 of the move. And so this supply zone here is around the 618, which is considered a discount area. So price could turn around from there, or price could buy up to the 618.78 and then sell. So it's up to you to mark up those zones. Anything in the 50%, 618, 78, 88, though that would be your, in a bearish market, your premium zones to look for price. All right. NZD USD. Let's see. This is a current break of structure, internal break of structure. All right, so price has been consolidating for a while. Okay, so this is our swing high here. So price can break these highs and still come up to this. Oops. Oh, shoot. Why did I do that? Come up to this zone and then sell. You have a break of structure, price can pull back here and then continue selling. Okay. So NZD, USD, and let me go to the weekly. Did I go to the weekly for this one? And as you can see, that zone that I marked up here is in alignment with price breaking previous week low and could pull up to then continue selling, possibly continue selling. All right. It's probably coming to take out this low. And I think I said that already. I can't remember. Because this was the overall swing. This was taken out. Matter of fact, it broke above that zone. So price is probably coming to take out this low and then start breaking internal structure to continue buying to this high. All right. All right. Next we have silver. Silver was a weekly, okay. I don't see this as a weekly order block. What I do see is that this is structure. Or wait a minute, hold on. Hold-de-do. So this was a break of structure, and then price pulled back to my demand zone. Okay. So price pulled back to the demand zone. And I'm going to go down to the daily just so you can see the structure a little more. This is still the structure right here, right? Um, I know Todd would consider this a break of structure. So price could do one of the followings. Now that if you consider this a break of structure or a change of market structure shift, then you should expect price to pull back to this demand zone and continue buying up to these highs. So if price pulled back to this demand zone up to here, that would be approximately, I'm on a daily, I don't know how to read the silver pips. I don't know if that's 332 or 3,324 pips. Either way, if you see this as structure, then this is your zone to mark up for price to pull back to, and then continue buying to this high. If you see this as structure, and yes, price could still continue buying up, right? But that means that price is likely to come or may come to this zone or this zone here and then sell back down. So price can do one of the two things. So if I go to the 4-hour and I narrowed my zone down, as you can see, price is pulling up, pushing up. So I would still be expecting price to, and maybe it'll start pulling back around here, push into there, pull back, and then start buying up. But I am looking for it to push into one of these zones, start selling, and then buying up. All right. Then we have gold. So we look at the weekly. We had a breakout structure here. And then we had this market structure shift here. All right. So once we got the market structure shift, I would have been looking for price to pull into this supply zone to start selling. All right. Price has pulled into the zone, but if I go down in time frame, I can narrow my zone down. So currently, this is a zone and this is a zone. Go to the 4-hour. So I would be looking at this here. So I would be looking for price to pull back into one of these zones, give me a change of character or a market structure shift to then possibly start looking for the sell. So currently I'm looking for it to at least take out this high and either come into this zone, give me a shift, and then sell back to this low, or give me a shift in this zone to sell back to the lows. And if you don't want to take it to that low first, you can take it to these swings, each one of these swings. All right. That's it for the weekly, the list that each put out. Now we have the GJ. We have some honorable mentions here. So based on based on market structure, and I'm just looking at the monthly. This is the last. Doop, doop, doop. This is the last. What is it? 5:30. Okay. This is the last break of structure here, which made this the swing low. All right. And then price gave a bearish order block. So down, rejected into our zone. I believe that was around the 88. So if we fib from here to here, it pulled back to the 88. And now it's starting to push up, right? So my guess is price is probably coming to this high, to take out this high if it is planning to sell. Or we're going to get price to push up here and break this high, and then we'll be looking for a new demand zone. Okay, so now let's go to the daily. With that being said, price had this last break of structure here. And then this, and then this. Market structure shift. Okay. So we had a shift in structure here. So once you get your shift in structure, price pulled back to the 88 and then started selling. Now, Todd talked about the daily, the sweep of this daily high here and looking for a sell. Okay. However, for me, because I'm trading based off of market structure, oops, I didn't mean to do that. Oh, shoot. Okay, I'm back. This was my last break of structure. Okay. This was the last swing low. And this was my swing high. So because price has not closed above that high, this swing makes this the swing. If price was to have closed above here, then I would have made this my swing low. This a pullback, a push up, a pullback, and then a break. This would have been my swing low that I would have looked to get broken. But that's neither here nor there. If you're patient enough, I am, okay. We know now that price has violated and has broken structure or a shift in in the market. Okay. And now I'm just going to identify previous day low was broken. So price is probably going to pull up to here and then sell some down to here. Now, price is currently in a demand zone. Okay. So the pullback into here may just be for structure. And let's go to the 4-hour. Okay, so now we have this zone here marked up. So I would be looking for price to pull back and to at least sell into this zone right here. And then once we get to this zone, then you just wait to see if it's going to close below here, or if structure is going to be created without closing below here, to then start buying to these highs. You can do this high and then you start doing, like, you just take it to the next high based on market structure. Okay. And then if price breaks that high, close above, then price is going to pull back to a demand zone to then start taking out these highs. I'm sorry, to then pull back to possibly take out this high. But if price breaks below here, this is the market structure shift. This is the first push past this swing. Because I don't know what it looks like, what price is going to do, price can run all price. If it doesn't pull back, and as you can see there, right now, there's an imbalance, right? So price can pull into this imbalance and then start selling. So this might be the next level of structure right here. We never know. We don't know. We can't say for sure until it happens, or until you see a shift in structure once it gets to this zone. Okay. So, but I would be expecting a pullback of structure from this current demand zone here. So you're going to have two demand zones. You have this one here, and then you have this one here. And I want you to ask the question. So if you understand demand zones, if not, then ask the question. Okay. But I do expect some kind of pushback up based on whatever structure is formed. Maybe it'll just push back up into this structure here and then sell back down. And let me make it clear. So if it sells into this and starts pulling back, it may just buy up into this structure that was formed here and then sell back into this zone and then give you structure back to mitigate this zone here. So I'm already waiting or expecting price to pull back into, go to the daily, expecting price to pull back and buy from here. But price is not going to be a straight line down to there. So we know that. So price is probably going to tap here, push back, tap back in here. That would be my push one, push two. Yeah. So price is probably going to push back up into, once it hits one of these zones, back up into the next supply zone before selling back down here, pulling back into the zone, and then probably taking off to these highs. That's just how I see it. So for the new people, I know this is probably a lot confusing, but as we do the daily calls, you will understand this a lot better once we see the structure that is formed. Market structure is king, okay, or queen. Okay. So that's what I see for GJ. Next, we have NAS. For NAS, always go to the higher time frame, identify your structure. So you had a break of structure here. Okay. So once you have your break of structure there, that makes this your swing low. You had this break of structure, this was the low, and then once that broke, it pulled back, broke again. So now this is your low. Okay. So price is currently now pushing back into your zone. And let's see, this is a pushback to then break here. So there we go. All that, yeah. Okay, that's right. So now this is your swing low right here. Okay, this is your break. This is a push up, a pullback, and then your break of structure. So this is your swing low. This last down candle before this break of structure is your demand zone. So now you're looking for price. And then if we're looking at go to the daily. So once you got your structure marked up, okay, we have, this was the previous day, price broke through. So price could pull up into this zone and keep selling, okay? So I would be looking for a pullback for a continuation of a sell to take out this low or these lows. Actually, to just sell, yeah. And then maybe another pullback to take out, to sell down here. Now, if price closes below here, so say there's a demand zone here, but that was not part of the structure that you marked up on the daily. So if price closes below this low and taps into this demand zone, then you have this market structure shift, which means price will then tap into this demand zone here, meaning if price closed below here, tapped into here, then you're probably going to get the pullback to this supply zone to then get another sell to the downside. But you have to see the market structure shift happen first. You have to see the shift happen first. Find your pullback on your higher time frame, find your supply zone, and then expect a sell from that zone. If price does not close below this low, then price could just tap into this zone and then keep buying to this high. Okay. And that's as simple. Indices are just like anything else. All right. So now we have SPX. Let's go to the weekly. And this is looking the same way. Okay. You had a break of structure here. Okay. Which made this your swing low. And as you can see, price closed below that low, which gave a market structure shift. Okay. So now let's go down to your daily. All right. Now that you have close below this low, you have so this would be your swing. So price is likely going to come and either fill this imbalance or come and entertain this imbalance, but it may just come to this demand zone, same as NAS, pull back to your supply zone for a continuation of a sell to the next demand zone, which is here. Boom. Okay. So this is what I would be expecting for SPX. And if I go to higher time frame, that's still the breakup structure, or that's still the breakup structure. Yeah. It's looking, and I mean, it's well overdue for a nice little pullback either to this demand zone here, and then maybe continue buying up. I mean, but it is breaking levels of structure. You can then buy it up, or it's going to start breaking more structure. And then the next zone for me would be this zone down here. And not this one, because this one has already been mitigated. This was already been tapped into. So that's a no for me. Right here you have order block and an imbalance. So if price continues to sell, then I would be looking for the sell to go down to here. Now, actually, I would be looking for the sell to go even further, because on higher time frame, this is higher, super higher time frame structure. This is the breaker structure. This is the swing low. And see what this is. So if I fibbed from here up to here, this is the 78 here. And let's see what's over here. You got equal lows here. Is that imbalance? No, I don't think there's an imbalance in there. Yeah, I still would be expecting it to come to here for the buy. But you can only take one trade, take one, you gotta walk it out. You gotta walk it out. Now that you got a market structure shift here, then you should be looking for a pullback to continue back down to this zone. And then whatever price gives you there, you then trade that back up to either supply zone or keep buying up to the highs or the breaker structure. So that's what I see for SPX, and for US 30. Same thing, trade it the same way. As you can see, this was a breaker structure here. This was a market structure shift here. Okay. So, and now that it's in this demand zone, that's already been mitigated this time, but it's still in a demand zone, right? So I'm just going to say this is the zone here. So price could sweep this low, take out this low, tap into this demand zone, this next demand zone, and then start buying up. And because you have a shift in structure, I would be looking for price to come back to this supply zone before selling back to the downside. Okay. So that is what I see. Same thing with the other indices. And that is all that. Okay, let me go to the daily. Let me just make it plain and clear. And then you just kind of narrow your zone, but you want to wait before you get in for it, and because now that structure has shifted, it is officially bearish, right? Or has shifted to the bear side. So in order to get into a buy back up to the zone, which would now be the counter trend trade, you want to wait for some kind of market structure. And for me, I would need to see price break this low, because you want a break of structure, and then break this high. Get in on the buyback or the demand zone, and then buy it back up to at least this high. You have this supply zone here, so price could tap into there and then could keep selling. But to start trading the counter trend, you have to wait for a structure to either form. Right now, and yes, this could give you double bottoms, right? This could give you double bottoms, and they tell you double bottoms mean that price is about to reverse. Well, it could reverse, but if you're not identifying the structure, it can reverse back to the swing, because as of this, if price doesn't break this low, this is our current swing. So if that was the break of structure, then that made this our swing high. Okay. So if price doesn't create a level of structure here and just gives you double bottoms, price can just buy up to your supply or your supply zone somewhere up here, and then start selling again. Okay. So don't be fooled by double bottoms. Do not be fooled by double bottoms. And yes, this is a level of structure, but price did not break until right here. That means everything from here up to the high point is part of the structure. Okay. So that's what I see for US 30. I think we had a conversation about US 30 about 2 weeks ago. Let me see, market cycle. And let me go to live trading session, US 30, 1 hour. I think we had, yes. So as you can see on, I think this might have been like 2 weeks ago. I was expecting price. I as you can see, I pushed it here. I'm expecting price to come back into this zone. As you can see, I want to see structure before it breaks up to the top side. And then I can buy it up to this high, up to these highs, up to this swing. So That is all that I have for this week. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. And I will see you all in these market streets, and happy